Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us today at the Politico Energy and Climate Forum. We are the Research and Analysis Division, Politico's intelligence unit specialized in independent policy and data analysis. I'm Chiara Rinaldi, and my work focuses on sustainability policy. And this is my colleague, Marco Antonio Berti, whose area of expertise is competition and industrial policy. Today, we want to talk to you about our most recent research report. There we unpack a simple-sounding idea that has become central by now to the EU agenda. That idea is simplification. Because simplification in Brussels, and we all know that, is never just technical. It is also political.
Indeed. The environmental omnibus is a perfect example for talking about simplification. Out of the first 10 omnibus packages that were published, it is the one that received the most feedback on the Commission's Have Your Say platform, and overwhelmingly so. We will delve deeper into what that feedback can tell us in just a moment, but first, let's talk simplification. Simplification doesn't mean changing the goals. Simplification means changing the underlying systems. That is, permitting timelines, producer responsibility systems, digital compliance tools. That may sound technical, but technical systems determine how policy works in practice, and that is what makes it political. Now, let's look at how simplification was applied to the case of this omnibus package.
Yes. The environmental omnibus is composed of 6 legislative proposals that you see here in the slide behind me. Now, this bill promises reduced burden, faster environmental assessment, easier investment, all in line with the broader simplification agenda. The goal is one, to create a simpler system that can help companies navigate EU rules better. But will the system still function after all this simplification? Or will the simplification make environmental foundation weaker? That is exactly the uncomfortable question that we ask ourselves throughout the report. And if those foundations weaken, the environmental foundation, Europe may reduce paperwork, fine, but at what cost? The risk is to end up having a Green Deal that looks intact from the outside, but that is harder and harder to implement in practice.
Indeed. And that concern was actually already visible before the legal text was even published. So, as we were saying, the Commission's first call for evidence received nearly 200,000 responses. Now, 99.3% of those were citizens-led. They were asking the Commission to keep enforcing existing laws. Businesses, on the other hand, they wanted more flexibility. So already when hearing simplification, citizens and environmental organizations on one hand worried about whether it would weaken oversight, traceability, enforcement, and businesses, on the other hand, they heard relief. Fewer delays, lower compliance costs, and less duplication. Both views are understandable, because as we were saying, the apparently small procedural changes of simplification can have very large consequences over time.
That's right. And that is the reason why the debate matters so much right now. In this chart here, we plotted for you countries according to their environmental stringency as well as their competitiveness score. Now, we explain this one very chart further in the report, but already at the first sight, it tells us something very important. It tells us that the story is not really green versus competitive, but is rather a story of what kind of competitiveness Europe wants to achieve. And even more, what happens to the implementation systems once they are redesigned in the name of efficiency. We will explore this concept, as well as what the simplification means for the future of the Green Deal in our workshop. The Green Deal's Scarlet Letter, Politics of Environmental Simplification. There we would love to hear your opinions, your perspectives, and your expectations to the bill. And ultimately, just what you really think. So it would be my pleasure to see you there in the room R3 at 1:05.
Thank you very much for your attention. If you would like to get an exclusive early access to our report, feel free to scan the QR code on the screen. It will take you to our website with the full report as well as our broader work on Europe's Omnibus agenda. Thank you again, and we hope to see you in room R3 at 1:05. Thanks.
Thank you so much.